With Luke Burbank, you're invited to take a deep dive into one very chilly hobby.
It's just before dawn, one cold morning a few weeks back, and members of San Francisco's South End Rowing Club are about to do something kind of extreme. Voluntarily plunge into the cold, murky waters of San Francisco Bay. With one very nervous TV correspondent tagging along.
I was terrified. It was dark. It was scary. It was cold.
Fran Hegler still remembers her first swim.
So if you're a pool swimmer and you get into this water, first thing you'll notice is it's freezing and it feels like someone's standing on your chest. The second thing that you notice is you can't see anything, right? So if you're swimming in a pool, you have a lane line and you know where you're going. If you're here, it's like, where do I go? And you can't see anything, which is terrifying because you know that there are things that are living in the water and you can't see them. So anyway, I just swam out into the cove.
Hegler not only survived the swim, she fell in love. And 7 years later is actually the president of the South End Club. Founded in 1873 in what was then the south side of San Francisco, the club was at first men's only. It was started by stevedores and longshoremen who worked on the water but wanted to row in their leisure time. But it was when the club moved north to what's now known as Aquatic Park, not far from Alcatraz and the future site of the Golden Gate Bridge, that the club helped popularize open water swimming, both locally and around the world.
The fog-shrouded Golden Gate Bridge is the backdrop for a channel-crossing swim race. Spectators aboard a sightseeing boat crowd the rail nearest the swimmers, who brave 56-degree water temperature.
These days, South End swimmers range from beginners to former Olympians. Some even make frequent laps to Alcatraz, about 1.25 miles away depending on the current. The club boasts some 1,700 members with only a single part-time employee. Almost everything else is handled by members volunteering and looking after each other in the open water.
It unplugs you from everything. It's so cold that survival is the only thing that you're thinking. You know that you're dying and, you come out of the water and you feel like $1 million.
South Ender Miguel Melendez volunteers his time kayaking with swimmers in making those long swims.
When we have a big swim or a private swim, the kayaker is the one who navigates, and the swimmer, he or she follows the kayaker, and you feed him every 30 minutes on a long-distance swim.
I've heard it's also a decent hangover cure.
You have no idea. The colder, the better.
The first thing anyone will ask you is, oh my God, there's sharks out there. Aren't you afraid of sharks? Well, yeah, I'm afraid of sharks, but I'm not worried about them. Sharks are not interested in people. For me, I'm more worried about sea lions. Most people don't know to be afraid of them. Currents make me nervous, but boats are the scariest thing, actually. And hypothermia is a little scary, too.
It's amazing hypothermia is so low on the list, because that seems like it'd be higher up in that. It's very cold out there.
I mean, I think part of open water swimming here, especially if you're doing it all year round without a wetsuit, is sort of understanding when your body is telling you to get out of the water. So I kind of know that. Like, I lose my left pinky. That's the first thing I start feeling numb. And then my hand starts to get a claw feeling. And when I get that, I know I need to get out. Meaning I need to, okay, that's time to go in.
Back on the beach, before our swim,
All right, we doing this?
the thing I was really looking forward to was the sauna, which I'd be heading straight for once we were done. The plan was for me and the South End regulars to swim out into the bay. Finally, it was time to meet my frigid fate. Following the club's mantra of 50 strokes to fabulous,
That is great.
I did my best to push through the cold and even got a little cocky.
What's the holdup?
But pride goeth before destruction. And also, apparently, before exhaustion.
Is this all right? Is this legal?
Because a mere 10 minutes later, I was spent.
Ready? On 3. 1, 2, kick.
With me now safely and, embarrassingly, hauled into the rescue boat. The real swimmers went on to complete their morning ritual of testing their bodies and minds in the cold waters off of San Francisco.